Today we are going to talk about factoring expressions. We already talked about the distributive property, and when we have a term outside of a parentheses being multiplied to the parentheses, we can distribute that outside term to each term inside the parentheses, getting us an expanded expression and then eventually simplifying. Now, what we want to do is go backwards. So we went from our factored form to our expanded form. Now we want to go from expanded to factored. We do that by looking at our expanded form and noticing what each of the terms have in common. When we have numbers here, we will find the GCF. Okay, so we would take the GCF of 21 and 6. Which factor do each of these have in common? Well, each of these have the largest common factor of 3. So we would pull the 3 out by dividing. 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, allowing us to have that 3 that we divided out outside of our parentheses, and then inside 7 plus 2. If we look at this algebraically, again, here's our distributive property where we distribute our A to both terms inside of our parentheses, giving us our expanded form of AB plus AC. But now we want to pull out from our expanded form and get to our factored form. When we have variables, sometimes it'll be a variable that we pull out. So here, both of these have an A in common. So we can pull that A out, leaving just the B plus C inside your parentheses. Overall, your biggest goal here is to find something in your expanded expression that can be pulled out, something that they have, both terms or all terms have in common, that can be pulled out of the parentheses. Let's try a couple of examples. So here we have our expanded form, and we're going to start by finding the GCF of our digits. Here, only one term has a variable, so I know I can't pull the variable out right now. So I'm going to find the GCF of 4 and 16. So the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. The factors of 16 are 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. Now, although these two numbers have 1, 2, and 4 in common, we want to get that greatest factor to pull out. So from here, that's going to go outside of our parentheses. Now we need to determine what goes inside of our parentheses. So I'm going to look here at my 4x plus 16. I'm rewriting it for myself. And now I need to divide each of these terms by that 4 so I can divide that 4 out. I divide each of these by 4. 4 times and divided by 4 cancel each other out. So I'm left with x. My plus sign is here, so I bring it down. If I had a subtraction sign here, I would bring that down. And then 16 divided by 4 is 4. So this is what goes inside of our parentheses. I have pulled out through division the 4 to leave us inside with just x plus 4. So this is what then goes in here. Now, I can check my work. And I do that by taking my factored form and distributing. 4x plus 4. And my goal will be to get that expanded form that I already had. That was my starting point. Okay, so I distribute that 4 to the x and the 4 to the 4. 4 times x plus 4 times 4. I can simplify that. 4 times x is 4x plus 4 times 4 is 16. 4x plus 16 matches my expanded form, and therefore my factored form is correct because everything checks out. So let's go through that real quick again. I start off this time with my expanded form. I go ahead and take the numbers, or at times a variable, and I go ahead and determine what the GCF is. I find the factors, and the greatest factor will pull out by division and come outside of those parentheses. From there, I divide each of my terms by the number that I'm pulling out, by that factor. Then, once I finish that division and I've got my final two terms, that's what goes inside. I take my new factored form and I distribute out to check my work. If my end expression, my expanded form, matches my original expanded form, then I've done it correctly. If not, I'd need to go back through and check that GCF and check my division here. When we distribute, we multiply. So then to go factoring, when we're going backwards, we want to divide. Let's try one more example together. Here I have the expanded form of 21x plus 9. My first step is to do what? Well, I want to find the GCF. What is the GCF of 21 and 9? Well, the factors of 21 are 1, 3, 7, and 21, whereas the factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. Now, sometimes that 9 might be the greatest common factor, so this number could be your greatest common factor. In this case, though, it's not. We've got a 3, so that 3 is going outside of our parentheses. Our next step is to do what? Do we want to multiply or divide the 3 out of these terms? Well, we want to divide. So here, I'm going to divide both those by 3. 21 divided by 3, 21x divided by 3 will leave me with 7x. Don't lose that variable. Bring down that that addition, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. This is what goes inside of our parentheses. 7x plus 3. From here, I want to check my work. So I do that by taking my new factored form, 3, 7x plus 3, and I distribute. 3 times 7x plus 3 times 3. 3 times 7x is 21x plus 3 times 3 is 9. This matches our original expanded form. So, yep, we're correct. And we are done with this problem. Let's go ahead and do one last one. I want you to try this one on your own. We've got 10x expanded form is 10x plus 25, and your factored form is what I want you to find. So pause the video here and find your factored form for me. Go through the steps. When you have finished, type your factored form into the answer box.